Yo, 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 what's good, my guy?
Yo, my guy.
Sure. These NBA playoffs.
NBA
Whew.
players are hot right now, bro.
Mm-mm-mm-mm-mm.
We got to jump right into it. Ladies and gentlemen, game fours have been crazy. Big stars stepping up. A lot of crazy things happening. So we're going to jump right into it. My name is Corey Hilliard. The man next to me, Brandon Hill, a.k.a. B Hill. If it's your first time, Mikasa Sukasa. If you remember before, you know what it is. B Hill, talk to him.
You guys already know what time it is. If you're not already, you're going to want to become a part of the House Divided family, especially with these NBA playoffs heating up the way they are, because we're going to be dropping a lot of content. All you guys have to do to be able to do that is hit that subscribe button, tap the notification bell so you guys can be up to date on all our latest content. Also, if you like what you're hearing, you like what you're seeing, go ahead and smash the thumbs up button as well. That helps us with the algorithm, gets us out there on those platforms that we want to where we can have more people view our content. And last but not least, guys, we want to hear from y'all. With the playoffs starting and everything, give us your opinions on our shows. Good, bad, right, wrong, and different. We don't care one way or another. Just want to hear from y'all. So, to get this thing started off, Corey, we'll start off with some of these Sunday games that happened yesterday. The first matchup that I wanted to go into was the Warriors and the Kings, man. To me, that's probably one of the more competitive series in this first round out of all of the playoffs, because it's either teams are going up 3-1, they're kind of just dismantling the other team, everything else. But this series right here is like mano a mano. Who's the better player? De'Aaron Fox has been balling, hand injury, you know what I'm saying, on his shooting hand now. So we'll see how all that kind of plays out and everything. They had a chance to win this game, though, Corey. Literally at the end of this game, they had a chance with the Harrison Barnes three. That was the last guy I would have wanted taking the shot, just to be completely honest, out of everybody on their team.
Yeah.
Um, but when Steph Curry and Klay Thompson and Jordan Poole can throw in there, and then you got Draymond coming off the bench doing what he did, that's just a recipe for success. It was in Golden State, you know what I mean, on their home court. So it was kind of status quo, man. The series hasn't started yet because, like they always say, an NBA playoff series does not technically start until the other team beats the other team on their court. So it hadn't happened yet. So I just anticipate things to move forward as status quo. But that De'Aaron Fox injury has definitely got me pausing for some concern right here. If I'm a Kings fan, what do you say?
No doubt. I think me and you both agree that somehow he'll figure out a way to play. Kind of talking about Kobe Bryant, the way he taped up his finger with a bunch of athletic tape. Just a shout out to Kobe, rest in peace. But somehow, some way, he's got to take that index finger up and he's got to play, man. This is too big. This is a game five series tied at 2-2. I agree with you. The series doesn't start until until the road team wins on the road. But geez, man, I mean, game one of the series, game four, even the game two and game threes, they didn't come down to the last shot like game one and game four did. But they're
Yeah.
really both competitive games. This, to me, this has been the most compelling, the most entertaining series by far.
Yes.
You want to talk about Sabonis real quick? What are your thoughts on Sabonis?
I see why he's not an Indiana Pacer no more. I mean, man, that guy, he is not his father's son. That's just all I'm gonna say.
Man,
So
I totally disagree. The dude's been an All Star twice. He was All Star this year. I just think he had a rough game. He was a big reason why they won that game too. He was a big reason why they won game one at home. And so now the series shifts back to Sacramento. What are they going to
hey,
do? Are they going to be able to respond? Is Darren Fox going to be able to give you enough? What is Malik Monk going to do? Can Harrison Barnes give them some offense? I think Trey Lyles, the rookie, he was huge in game four. He kind of kept them in it. So we got to see, man. It's a lot of basketball left. It's basically a 3-game series now.
yep,
There's a chance it goes 7. I think if Golden State wins this game 5, it doesn't come back to a game 7 in Sacramento.
I agree.
Sacramento absolutely has to win this game, bro.
I think, I mean, uh, I just don't see Steph Curry, Klay Thompson, and Draymond Green allowing a team that has a bunch of guys that's never seen the playoffs before beat them in the first rounds.
Right.
I just don't see it.
Don't see it.
I'm kind of hearing about the De'Aaron Fox situation, everything. I'm kind of one of those right now to where I think this series is going to be over in 6. I think Golden State's going to win the next 2 games. I think they're going to win it with ease, especially if De'Aaron Fox can't be what he has been. Because, I mean, Corey, the guy's been absolutely balling, and they still lost 2 games. You know what I'm saying? So
no doubt.
it's just one of those things. I just think that it's to go up against Steph Curry, Klay Thompson, and Draymond Green and not be at your 100% capacity.
It's not a good thing.
It's not a good. It's not a recipe for success. That's why I got the Warriors. They're going to win this game or win this series in 6 is what I'm seeing now. So this next one, let's go ahead, jump over here. We'll stay right here in the West. Nuggets and Timberwolves. The Timberwolves last night kind of just snuck this one out, man. That was just more so pride than anything to not get swept because I don't see them coming back from being down 3-0. It's never happened in the NBA. I mean, Anthony Edwards just was a special player last night, and what he did, you know what I mean? He was proven why he was a number 1 overall pick. And he really didn't have a whole lot of anything from anybody else. It was kind of like the Jokic Anthony Edwards show. Honestly, I mean, they were the only 2 players that were actually like doing anything for both of their squads. And it just so happened that Anthony Edwards' squad did just enough to be able to get him the victory in overtime. Because Minnesota, they're a little bit there towards the end of the game and towards the end of overtime. They were trying to give the game back to Denver. You know what I mean? If I'm not mistaken, I can't remember. Weren't they up by like 7 or 8 points with like less than 2 minutes or something like that? And Denver came back and actually tied the game up to force the overtime. So
Denver went on a 9-0 run to force the overtime.
That's what I thought. I knew it was like 8 or 9 points or something like that. But man, like that just goes to show you the strength of that number 1 seed. The Nuggets, maybe they were getting slept on just a little bit, but again, let's pump our brakes a little bit because they are going up against the Minnesota Timberwolves. They are the 8 seed for a reason. So, what's your take on this one, Corey?
Nah, man. I mean, look, Denver had this game in control midway through the third, and I thought it was over. I think they were up like 11 or 12 points or something like that. And it's out of nowhere, bro. Anthony Edwards woke up. Conley started playing good. He gave some big-time shots there in the fourth quarter. Cat and Gobert, 14 and 17, they were just mediocre. But like you said, bro, this was the Anthony Edwards show. I think Denver kind of let their foot off the gas halfway through the third when they saw they were up double digits, and they kind of expected the Timberwolves to just lay over and kill over and be like, we're done. But like you said, it was a pride thing. I think Anthony Edwards, a future superstar, was like, no, I'm not having that. I'm not getting swept. And he took over, man. So shouts out to them. They're not going to win game 5, in my opinion, in Denver, but you never want to get swept. You want to have some kind of dignity and pride, and they did that. So big ups to them. They get a free trip to Denver. They get to go hang out in Denver, maybe go to the strip club that John Morant was at that night. He got in all of this trouble, but
Yeah. No, I mean, hey, shout out to them. They got a W. It's not going to result in anything. I think that series is going to be over in the next game, if I'm not mistaken. I see Denver winning. Now, the thing that's kind of crazy, I mean, that altitude up there in Denver, man, that's a different type of environment to be able to go into, and that is definitely tough. So, any team that has to face them, I mean, the Nuggets and the Suns, that's going to be a hell of a series. That's going to be a good little series to be able to watch. I would still have my money on the Phoenix Suns if I were a betting man. That's fine. Me and you are just going to have to agree to disagree on that one. I'm looking ahead down there. I want to see a LeBron James, Kevin Durant conference finals. That would just be. I'm foreshadowing. Yeah. So we'll see. You never know. This next game I wanted to touch on, Corey, or this next series, the New York Knicks, man. Shout out to the Knicks. This was one of those series coming into the playoffs. We were looking at this as like a possible 7-game series because we thought that these teams were like ultimately the only two that were like evenly matched teams. That has not been the case. Again, I point out again, and I don't mean to be just an absolute hater on Donovan Mitchell, but the dude does this every freaking year. He's James Harden 2.0 to me whenever it comes to playoffs. I'm just saying, you know what I'm saying? So
Oh, yeah.
he hasn't really done anything for his team to be able to win, man. And then whenever on the other side you got Jalen Brunson doing what he's doing, and R.J. Barrett, shout out to my boy from Duke, couldn't
Yeah.
hit a 3-point shot to save his damn life, but he was getting to the free throw line. He was making shots. He was doing a bunch of good things for his team, and he needed to, Corey, because Julius Randle, man, wow. I just wow.
Disappearing act. Yeah.
But for him to play like that, because I think we can all agree he's one of their top 2, if not top 3 players on their team.
Oh, yeah.
Most people would say top 2. It's him and Jalen Brunson.
Yeah, yeah.
But for him to score only 7 points and not play the entire fourth quarter, the dude only played 27 minutes in this game, Corey.
Yep.
So, well, I mean, what's it to you? They still got the dub.
No, they still got the dub. It's not a good look for Randall when they go to Obi Toppin to play the whole fourth quarter instead of you. RJ Barrett was sensational. If he could have made a 3, I don't think it's even worse than it was. Jalen Brunson, the Dallas Mavericks have to be kicking themselves right now.
Wow.
Good grief, man. This dude is a baller. And shout out to Josh Hart. That was a good pickup for them, trading for him.
They finally put him in the starting lineup too. I forgot to mention
that. It was smart. It was a good call on their part.
I agree.
Donovan Mitchell. I was not one of the ones that kind of bought into this theory that he kind of disappears in the playoffs. I really didn't think he had a lot of help in Utah. But the more this series goes along, I'm starting to buy into that narrative. I'm starting to agree with you more and more. A great regular season player, bro. Yeah. 11 points, 5 of 18. You got to do better, bro.
He's got to
do better, and he's taking shots away from other guys. He's led the team in shots every game. I think, other than game 2, where Darius Garland led the team in shots. And that was the only game they won. So not only is he not playing good, but he's leading the team. He's taking all the shots, and it's not producing anything. Very disappointed in Donovan Mitchell. And I think he's the biggest culprit, the biggest reason his team is down 3-1 right now.
And they pretty much had nothing off the bench. Nothing. I mean,
no, they don't.
They're shell themselves right now. The Cleveland Cavaliers, man, they might win the next game. I don't anticipate that they will. I mean, you're going back. I don't either, man. The New York Knicks just look like the deeper team. Yeah. And kind of leading into this next series that I wanted to touch on, Corey, the Milwaukee Bucks possibly losing that series to the Heat. You're a New York Knicks fan or the New York Knicks, and you're looking going into that second round matchup against the Miami Heat. I mean, that's going to be a battle no matter what. But man, you're possibly looking, as a Knicks fan, you could possibly be sitting in the Eastern Conference Finals. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So
look, if are we talking about the Heat Bucks right now?
We'll go ahead. Yeah, jump into it, because we can swing back around and talk about the Celtics and the Hawks.
Okay, bro. This This game 4 by Jimmy Butler, bro. Oh my word.
He's a man.
Bro, he's a dog. He's not a man. He is an absolute pit bull, a Rottweiler, whatever you want to call him. 56 points, 22 in the first quarter. I mean, bro, the fourth quarter, taking over the game. They were down 11 points at one point, and this man absolutely took over. It was the jump shots, driving to the lane. We're talking about, what's his name for the Drew Holiday being the best defensive guard in the league, and
he ain't holding.
Jimmy Butler ate his ass up, B-Hill.
Yeah, he has been.
Ate him up. And there's no excuses for the Bucks. They had Antetokounmpo. He dropped 26. So I don't want to hear about his back. I told you
Mm.
about Chris Middleton, bro, last year. Me as a Celtics fan, I have to sit here and listen to this all year. That Chris Middleton would have played last year, they would have beat the Celtics. No, I'm sorry,
Okay.
dog. 4-12, 2 of 5 from three, 14 points. Not that guy. I want to put that to bed. We can officially get that out of there. All right. And Drew Holiday, 6 of 19. He was an all-star this year. Dude had a great regular season, but 14 points, 6 of 19, 2-11 from the three-point field. Bro, I don't know what it is. We can make excuses saying that he didn't play games 1, 2, and 3. He didn't play game 2. The Bucks won by 36. All right. Um, so it's not that they can't win without Giannis. I think they have a heat problem, and it starts with Jimmy Butler. They cannot control that dude. That's just what it is. And it's been like that. They lost to him in the bubble when they were the 1 seed. I think Miami was the 5th seed. All right. And Miami gives this team fits. And it
Yep.
is what it is. And I'm sorry
Yep.
for the Bucks. You had the best overall record in the league, but you're
Mm.
a game away from going home, dog.
Mm.
And that's just what it is. I'm sorry. You
Mm.
called this. You nailed it on the head before I kick it over to you. You've been saying this leading up to the playoffs. The Heat are a team that nobody wants to play, and lo and behold.
They're just, man, they are just because of what Jimmy Butler's capable of in a playoff series. I mean, Eric Spoelstra is the head coach. You want to talk about name me another head coach in these playoffs that has more coaching experience in the playoffs than Eric Spoelstra.
He's just passed
Maybe
Red
Ty
Auerbach
Lue.
as he's number 5 all time in playoff wins.
So there it is. You see what I'm saying? You're talking about like one of the savants when it comes to coaching in the NBA in the playoffs. And they got him as their head coach. They got Jimmy Butler, man. I don't know. I don't know, man. I don't think they're going to win the next game. I think this is a series that could potentially go 7 because I think the Bucks are going to bounce back. You can shake your head. That's fine. That's what I see happening. They're going to kind of flex their muscles as the 1 seed, win a couple of games, take it back to Milwaukee for game 7. Who knows what can happen from there. But nothing getting taken away from the Miami Heat, man. They have been absolutely balling in this series, and they're basically just like, nobody's giving us a chance, so we're just going to come up in here, and we're just going to play hard and see what happens. And look, lo and behold, they're up 3-1 now, man. I mean, nobody would have guessed that coming into the playoffs. So, all right. So talk about your squad, man. Let's go ahead. Let's get into this thing, man. I mean, I rest my case here. I'm surprised you guys didn't sweep them. You kind of let that one game slip away, but you guys bounced back in great fashion. You know what I mean? They played hard on their home court, trying to keep it within the game. But at the end of the day, Tatum and Brown combined for 62 points for you guys to take the lead. When you have those two guys cooking like they were cooking, man, there's just nobody has an answer for that. Nobody. Like, you guys have the best tandem as far as like scoring the ball. They both play hard defense. Y'all just got a nice little nucleus, man, and it just works together. You guys are probably, if I'm not mistaken, minus the Warriors, you're probably one of the nucleuses that have been together the longest. Yep. As far as like you guys have kind of grown up, this has been a team that you guys have mostly drafted. You know what I'm saying? You draft well, you develop well. So, I mean, shout out to you guys, bro. Y'all are handling your business. You're up 3-1. I'm going to kick it over to you and kind of let you do a little bit of talking about your team here.
No, man, I appreciate it. It is a homegrown team. It's a homegrown nucleus. You know, we brought Al Horford in. We traded for Derek White from the Spurs. But other than that, man, most of this team, and Malcolm Brogdon, we got him out of free agency. But most of this team is homegrown. 31-31 from the Jays. Marcus Smart with 19. Derek White, who's been an absolute revelation this year throughout the regular season and this postseason, 18. I just thought it was really good basketball. And this is a Heat team that beat Heat team. This is a Hawks team that beat that Heat team in the first playing game. So it's not like they're scrubs, bro.
They caught them off guard.
I don't know about that, man. I told you what I feel about the Hawks. They were just in the Eastern Conference Finals 2 years ago. They got talent. You know what I mean? Now here's what hurts them in Game 5, and this is why it's going to be over. DeJounte Murray decided he wanted to go chest bump the ref right after the game ended. He got his ass suspended for game
what
5.
A dummy. What a dummy.
What an idiot.
What a dummy. I mean?
So,
what a dummy. I mean, what a dummy.
Kind of sealed their fate.
Who's to know that the Heat didn't just throw that game on purpose because they're like, I'd rather play the Bucks than the Celtics. Match up better with the Bucks.
I don't know, man. I don't know. They were trying to win that game. I watched that whole first playing game.
No, I get it. But hey,
it worked out well for him.
That's what I'm saying. Because I don't think that we'd be sitting here talking about the Miami Heat being up 3-1 on the Boston Celtics. No. I just don't.
And I don't think we'd be talking about the Hawks being up 3-1 on the Bucks either. So
no.
Sometimes you need luck, man. Sometimes you need luck.
It worked out. Hey, man. What do you do, man? You guys are going to move on to the next round. You're going to have them Philadelphia 76ers sitting there waiting on you guys. And, I mean, what Joel Embiid are we going to get? Is he going to be healthy? You know what I'm saying? But
he's going to be completely healthy. I don't know what the hell the NBA did. But how did they play their first 4 games before any other team played their game 4? I still don't understand that. I still don't get it.
This has been weird how they did this because, like, through the first 3 games of this series between my Lakers and the Grizzlies, like, we had 3 days off between each game. And now it's like every other night. I don't know what they're doing, man. But
that Sixers game ended Friday. That swept ended Friday, B.
I know. No,
it's
I know.
Tuesday. That was 4 days ago.
I'm already knowing. And we just played our 4th game tonight. So it's like, man, what in the hell? But, hey.
He'll be fine.
It be what it be. Joel Embiid needed that little bit of rest. Maybe that's the MVP getting a little bit of help from the league. You know what I'm saying? Because I got Joel Embiid as my league MVP this year. I think they're going to give it to the guy. But we'll sit here and we'll see. So.
You got this one. I'm going to sit back and listen. This is the nightcap right here. This is the.
Ooh-wee. My Lakers tonight, man. They came out firing at the beginning, and then we let Memphis back in the game. Memphis had some control there. I think it was like, what was it? Like, I think we were at like 4 minutes or something like that, and we had went down. It was like 97-90. And D'Angelo Russell hit 2 big-time three-point shots. And whenever he hit those 2 shots, I was like, that's why we went and we traded a Russell Westbrook to be able to go and get that guy. That's why we changed that up. Because, honestly, I mean, hell, if we didn't make the trades that we made, we wouldn't be sitting where we're at right now. I mean, with Russell Westbrook and Pat Bev and all that, we was not going anywhere fast. So, having that D'Angelo Russell, being able to shoot, Austin Reeves, man, I mean, I'm more and more impressed by him every game that I watch him play. LeBron James tonight, 22 points, 20 rebounds, and 7 assists. That man played a grown-ass man's game tonight. 38 years old, year 20, LeBron freaking James. He brought this one home for us, man. He just did. I mean, AD he gave us 11 rebounds. He gave us 2 steals. He gave us 4 blocks. Only 12 points, though. Now, I do believe that, like, earlier in the game, he kind of fell down and he hurt his right hip. I think it was kind of bugging him a little bit, but still, I'm one of those, if you're on the court, you're playing. No excuses. You know what I'm saying? If you're hurt, take your ass back to the locker room. But if you're on that court and you're laced up, ready to rock and roll, there's no excuses for injuries. But he knuckled it out, man. He played 42 minutes tonight. And, I mean, he had some big, like, rebounds there at the end of that game for us to kind of seal this thing. On the other side, Desmond Bane. I mean, my gosh. That
36.
dude. It's about time. It's about time.
Yeah.
Know as much he's been talking. I mean, it's about time he does something. And Dylan Brooks is trash. I'm not even giving that dude the time of day no more. I can't wait. we get off of this show, I'm going to go check these highlights and go see these little interviews. Let me see if Dylan Brooks actually did a damn interview tonight, because the other night, whenever he got ejected,
Oh,
he
he
was
ran.
ran away from it. You know what I'm
Ran.
saying? So it's like,
Yeah.
that's fine. This was a game, though, Corey, that my Lakers needed. We lost this game. You're talking about a whole different outlook for this series. Going back to Memphis, tied up 2-2, that was just not something that we were interested in doing. So I think I'm predicting it now. I think the Lakers go into Memphis in Game 5 and close this thing out. I think we're kind of sharking them right now. We smell the blood in the water, and we're going to go in for this
man,
attack.
You took the words right out of my mouth.
And we're going to end this thing, man. We're going to wrap it up. LeBron James knows how to win first-round series matchups, and he knows how to close teams out whenever he has them on the line. So I believe that my Lakers are going to come out, and I think you're going to see an Anthony Davis drop like a 25, maybe 15 rebounds, a few more block shots. So Anthony Davis, in my opinion, has taken this series kind of personally against Jaren Jackson, for Jaren Jackson getting that Defensive Player of the Year. Now, Jaren Jackson had some hell of blocks tonight and had some great plays, but to no avail, man. My Lakers won. They're up 3-1. Let's go on to this next one. What you got?
No, bro, it was a phenomenal game. Me and you were texting throughout. I asked you what's going to happen on this. Who's going to take this last shot in the regulation? You said Brian, drive it to the rim. You were absolutely right. That right there was so many plays of the game, though. I think D'Angelo, he hit the 2 threes. They called timeout and came out and hit another 3. I thought that was huge. I think Brian taking those 2 charging calls on Ja Morant at critical points in the game, that was huge. I'm looking at, man, I don't know what Schroeder was doing. He was turning the ball over. He was a little careless with the basketball.
Yes.
That could have hurt y'all.
Yes.
Yeah, but y'all overcame that. Austin Reeves, AR-15, quietly led y'all in scoring with 23 points. Huge.
I love
huge.
that guy.
A quiet 23. I just kept thinking, man, this dude's leading the team and scoring with 23.
Yep.
He's been a revelation. Y'all got to re-sign him for sure. But, I mean, outside of Desmond Bane, bro, like, really the Grizzlies really had nothing for y'all. Really didn't.
Ja
Morant. I was kind of surprised. Ja Morant kind of came on in the second half, even though he was 8 for 24. That dunk he had at the end of the third quarter, I thought that was huge. And it was a defensive battle throughout the game. Neither team shot the ball well from 3-point range, but I think you said it when we were texting. Once it got into overtime, I think the Grizzlies missed a prime opportunity to win this game. And once it got into overtime, they just ran out of steam. And I think like you said, for this game 5, once it got into overtime, the Lakers smelled blood.
Yeah, because when it was 102, and when we had the ball, I think it was like 20-something seconds left, and we drove in, and freaking Jaren Jackson Jr. just completely, I think it was Rui that was going up for the shot. I can't remember exactly who it was, but he tried to go for that dunk, and Jaren Jackson just smacked that up out of there. And then, of course, they ran on down there. They got the foul, or they got the bucket, everything else with that nice Ja Morant pass behind the back. But, man, I mean, it was just, you left 6 seconds on the clock. And King James did what King James does. And he delivered, man. I mean, it wasn't the best shooting night from LeBron, but he was, this is that LeBron James that you like to see that you don't really see in the regular season, because he kind of primes himself up for this kind of stuff. But, like, there was nobody that was stopping that dude on the boards tonight, man. He was absolutely big time whenever it came down to that. So that's what we needed. But I'm kind of one of those, though. I get it. I don't know if I would have had a Schroeder in there at the end of the game. Now, granted, I get D'Angelo Russell got in foul trouble. But Jared Vanderbilt, to me, has to be out on the floor just for defensive purposes. Yeah. Because he does such a good job on Ja Morant. Because think about it, the other night when Ja Morant went absolute nuts in that fourth quarter, they didn't have Jared Vanderbilt in the game. You know what I'm saying? They've been closing this thing out. Whenever Ja Morant has anybody else on him but Jared Vanderbilt, he looks to be aggressive and take it right to the bucket. when he has Vanderbilt out there with his length and his athleticism, Vanderbilt can actually get into his grill and kind of affect him a little bit more. So
Yeah.
it worked out. We won the game. I kind of get what he's doing because it's more Vanderbilt's kind of an offensive, like he's a, you know what I mean? He's not very good for the offensive side of the ball,
Nah,
but
yeah.
I
You're
I
talking
don't
about
know.
trading a ball handler for a defensive guy, and I think at that time, the way the game was going, I agree with keeping Schroeder in. You just got to clean up the passes. He's making
Yeah.
some wild passes, but
Yeah, he
congrats
was.
to your Lakers, man. Congrats to your Lakers. I'm forecasting the Lakers second round. LeBron trying to take out the defending champs and his old nemesis and the Warriors. So that's where we are right now. It's trending that way. So we'll see.
I want it. I want it. I want every bit of it. I want it all. And then after that, I want that Kevin Durant, LeBron, Western Conference Finals. That's what we want. That's what we need, Corey. We need
That's what
that.
we need.
We
We'll see.
need that. That's what we
We'll
need.
see.
So
We'll see.
we're going to see. I just hope everybody stays healthy, man. That's what I'm praying for. Praying for everybody to stay healthy. I don't want to see no big stars get hurt to where it,
Yeah, facts.
you know what I'm saying? I don't want no excuses. None.
Facts.
I want everybody to have their star to where we can just play some good playoff basketball and see what who the best team really is.
Facts.
So, as always, man, you got anything else for us tonight?
No, I'll close this out, man. That was a good show.
Well, hey, as always, guys, we signed on into this thing. We're going to go ahead. We're going to sign on out this thing. But before we do that, always, if you're still here with us, smash that subscribe button for us. It's real easy. Tap the notification bell. Go ahead and hit that thumbs up button. Also, too, hop down there in those comments. I want to hear from y'all. What's y'all's most exciting series to watch so far? And who do y'all got going on in the second round? Who you think's going to win these second